What's up, everybody? We are back with another solo raid series. This time we're going to be talking about Kayangel, 3 gates, and we're going to hop right into this thing. Gate 1, right before you go in, battle items, health potions, time stops, and you can bring dark grenades if you want. The dark grenade and the time stops are just suggestions. You need nothing to get through the mechs, but it might help you out. So here we go, gate 1. We hop right into this here. So there is a mini game, if you will, on gate 1. Periodically throughout the fight, you're going to get this little red eyeball and this kind of faint spotlight on your character. You're going to see this debuff above your mana or resource bar, counting down from, you can see 3 seconds left. This is going to drop a puddle at your feet when it expires. And this happens throughout the whole fight. It'll just periodically appear on you, and you're going to want to run to the edge of the map. You see here, before 55 bars, the map is a circle. And you can kind of see this line right here, this detailed line that cuts through the map here. After 55 bars, these semicircles on each side of the map are going to fall off. And once that happens, you can get knocked off the map and you just get killed that way. So you want to be wary of that. But for now, before 55 bars, if you get a puddle, if you get this little eye on you, you want to drop it on one of these circles. Because early on in the fight, the puddles are actually a buff. You can walk in them and get a buff for 10 seconds. But later on, after 55 bars, they will electrocute you. They no longer give a buff, and they'll just shock you, and you can get killed that way. So we run to the edge, wait a couple seconds, and you'll see this drops off. Boom. That puddle right now. So if I walk back in here, you'll see I'm going to get a buff. The only thing you got to worry about is the boss also gets a buff when he walks in there. It's just increased damage, so you'll hit harder if you get the buff. He'll hit harder if he gets the buff. But that's how you deal with this puddle mechanic. You can use it to your advantage early on. Just make sure you drop it on the semicircles. So we'll probably go to the mech in a second after this. Just wanted to show you guys how this worked. Yada, yada, yada. All right, 55 bars. You see this? The map starts going yellow. You can already see the puddle has changed its form to this electricity dome now. That's how you know it's no good. From now on, you're going to drop puddles just in the corner, anywhere on the edge of the map, out of the battlefield. That way you don't, make a minefield of electricity puddles all over the place. So once this mech starts at 55 bars, just make sure you're not standing on these semicircles. As they turn yellow, you'll see they're going to fall off completely. So this is the only major mechanic in the fight. And all you're doing is dodging electricity as it comes down from the top. You'll see here, it'll just spawn several waves. That blue thing is just so you can identify your character faster, that highlighted thing. So your character will also, each wave, get a target over your head. And he's telling you, hey, I'm about to throw my sword right at you and do like a small explosion. And it's going to go wherever that target disappears, it'll be fixed at that spot. So as long as you're moving, you'll dodge it just fine. Worth noting here is you can kind of see this wind that's going on during the mech. It's constantly pulling your character down. So if you let go of your mouse, you don't touch anything, your character will slowly be pulled down. You can use that to your advantage when you're dodging. If you run south, you're moving with the wind, you'll go faster. And if you're trying to run up against the wind, you'll move slower. So you'll see this target. I wait for it to, drop off my head, and I keep moving. Boom. So he'll throw the sword right there where it disappeared. Meanwhile, you're just dodging these lightning circles as they come down. Just find any one of these gaps, dodge it, and then run sideways. Throws the explosion there. Rinse and repeat. That's all you have to do. That is the only mechanic in that fight. So as long as you're dealing with the puddles okay, and you do that mech, the rest is just doing damage. Tons of normal attack patterns for you guys to prog and learn and get better at your own pace. But that's it for gate 1. Gate 2. Gate 2 introduces these 3 elements that you have to worry about. This is going to be the first mech. I'll show you in a second. So there's red, green, and blue. So if anybody ever played Pokemon, in your youth or still today, this is going to help you out for certain mechanics. You can just think of it as fire, water, grass, and you very much want to know about the weaknesses versus the strengths. So water will hurt fire, fire will hurt grass, grass will hurt water. That's just something to keep in mind, and it'll help you later on. But right now, this is the very first mechanic that happens. And in the solo mode, I believe you can go to 6 o'clock, the bottom here, always to start. And what's going to happen is she's going to summon these 3 elements, and we need to destroy one of them. We don't know which one we have to destroy until the end of the mechanic. But in the meantime, she is going to shoot out a projectile, and the projectile is going to kill this element. We don't want that to happen. We don't know which element needs to die. So what we do is we are going to stand in between the little projectile and the element. And we're going to do this 6 times, and we're going to rotate counterclockwise. You'll see here. So I stand 6 o'clock. This thing shoots out. Boom. I let it hit me, and then I run over here. It does a little bit of damage. Every other one. So that's the 3rd one. This is the 4th. This is the 5th. This is the 6th. So now we have to figure out which element to destroy. And the easiest way to know which one it's going to be is to just see where she turns, whichever way her right shoulder's facing. So let's check out what she does. She turns, boom, her right shoulder is facing down here. All this means is you have to go to that element, and now you have to kill it. So run over, use your abilities, and destroy it. You can also see which one it's going to be because she'll get a element color under her feet, and then you would have to kill whichever element is stronger. So fire kills grass. That's how you can also know if you don't want to do the right shoulder trick. The right shoulder just lets you find it faster, but whichever way you're comfortable doing it, that's fine. So you run over, you destroy this thing, and you get a little like buff that protects you, powerful energy here, and then she does a 1-shot. But as long as you've killed that in time, you do not die. That's the mech. You're done. The second mechanic we're going to do here. Oh, actually, this is a normal attack pattern that I want to talk about because I figured this would give people a lot of trouble and be very frustrating. You're probably not a stranger in Lost Ark to getting trapped and having to spam your spacebar to release yourself. However, this time, you cannot fully fill this space bar until she does this black wave that comes out of her. So as soon as this mech starts, start slamming your space bar and try and fill it up really close to the top. You'll see here. So I start pressing it. I get close. I get close. I get close because you're waiting for these waves. And as soon as you see a black wave come out, that's when you want to break free. So you're just kind of mildly pressing it once it gets up towards the top. So we'll see that was green, black, get out, you live. If you go out too early or don't fill up the bar in time when you see the black come out, you'll just die. That's a normal attack pattern that she does frequently. I just wanted you guys to know about that one. All right, next mechanic is just counters, and she still spawns, I believe, 3 different counters in solo mode, but you only have to hit one of them, apparently. So I ran over here. You can see these little statues. They're faced away from you. They'll get up and turn around and flash blue, and you just hit the counter. So we'll see. Gets up, turns around, counter. Then you run to the middle, stagger. That's the end of the mechanic. There's only one more mech in Gate 2. And she's going to summon these rings. And this is where that whole Pokemon element system will help you out. So the rings, we'll let them spawn real quick so you guys get a visual. In solo mode, she'll spawn these rings. And then she's going to summon these little elemental nodes on each ring. You can think of this mech, or this is how I do it. I think like, okay, I have to protect the rings. So if I'm protecting the ring, I want to kill the elemental node that would hurt it. So for green, I want to protect it. I'm going to have to kill any fire nodes. Water, I want to protect it. I'm going to kill any grass nodes. So we'll let her spawn it. In normal mode, she only spawns on the bottom here, so it's more manageable for you. So you can see right now, there's a fire node here I need to kill. There's a fire node here I have to kill. And then there's a green node right here on the blue ring I have to kill. So protect the rings helped me do this when I was learning. The nodes are not very strong. Pretty much any one of your skills will kill it. Some auto attacks will kill it too. That's the mech. You want to stand off of the rings because they will explode. Now that you've done a great job of protecting them, they're going to explode anyway. And if you're standing on them, it'll hurt you. So I just go to the middle so I can DPS when the mech's over. But you could stand in between these rings or on the outside too if you'd like. Just wait. Here they're going to pop. And then you're done with the mech. That is gate 2. Nice job. We're done. So this is gate 3. This is the one that's going to give you the most trouble because it has some unique interactions. We'll try and tackle it piece by piece so it all comes together at the end for you. So the first thing I wanted to show you is the fact that periodically in this fight, he's going to teleport behind you and reappear and summon this like glass mirror. We'll show you right now. He disappeared, reappeared, glass mirror comes up. Wait, that was too quick. I accidentally clicked my bar, excuse me. I meant to hit pause, here you go. Glass mirror. All right, perfect. This thing right in front of him. If you touch that mirror, you will be taken down to 1 health point. Exactly 1 HP. Don't touch the mirror. This very first teleport he does, it's almost like it's warning you. It's saying, hey, this is how this mech works. I teleport behind you. This mirror shows up. He doesn't shoot any lasers, and he doesn't have any wind trying to pull you in right now. This is pretty much a warm-up. This intense gaze, you guys see this purple text? This is very important for the very last phase of the fight. Later on, he's going to have this wind trying to suck you into the mirror so you get hit by it. And you're going to be walking away from it. This purple text will appear on your screen when you're in front of the mirror. And it will disappear right when a particularly large gust of wind is going to happen. So you'll need to know this after 60 health bars at the very end of the fight. You're going to want to time your movement skill abilities or your space bar. As soon as that purple text disappears, you can use your dash, one of your abilities, or your space bar to dash away from it to counteract the big pull. I just want to give you an overview. We'll see this later. But okay, this is the mirror. This is what he does. The first one, again, painless, doesn't pull you in, doesn't do anything. All right, first mechanic. Well, this is the first thing he does. It's 180 bars. It's not really a mech, but it introduces these little light lanterns on the outside of the map, which you're going to have to deal with the whole fight. And he also can kind of be annoying right here. So at 180 health bars, he'll disappear off the map. He'll reappear, and he's going to do 3 attacks. Red lines that you have to dodge, and then he's going to do a little safe zone. I like to hang out, see how there's this dark circle in the middle, and then it gets lighter on the outside. I will hover around here, the transition area from light to dark. That's normally where the safe spot is, or you're in a good position to space bar to the safe spot if it's further out or in. So he does red lines, save zone, red lines one more time. Then he's going to come down to the middle and teleport to the nearest person. Because you're in solo mode, it'll always target you. This is also when he spawns these light lanterns on the map. So from here on out, you cannot do any damage to the boss unless you have a special buff. And the way you get the special buff is by hitting one of these light lanterns when it's lit up. The way it gets lit up is the boss has to hit it. So you can do a little trick here, and you can make him hit it faster so you can start fighting faster. If you run to kind of where I'm standing here, he's going to teleport behind me with that mirror. and I'm gonna make him touch this little light lantern with the mirror to light it up. So I stand here, and as soon as I see him reappear, I start running south. You'll see this in a second. So boom, here he comes, start running. Mirror shows up, he turns towards me, his mirror touched it, and now he lit this thing up. You see how there's these different segments on the lantern? This is a timer. I think maybe it lasts, I don't know, a minute or so. You'll see every so often one of these segments will disappear. So it kind of lets you know how much time's left before it goes away. You can also, oh, that's a good intense gaze there. Let me show you that again. You see the purple text I was talking about? Intense gaze, disappear, spacebar. I just dashed. He'll shoot from now on. He's got a wind that tries to suck you into the mirror. And after a couple seconds, when you have your sound up, you'll hear the mirror shatter. And then he shoots a laser to try and hit you. You want to dodge all this stuff. So once the mirror shatters now, I start running sideways. He shoots a big laser out. To activate it, I run up and just auto attack, use any ability you want, and it will create that yellow circle around it. And as long as you're standing in it, you'll get this buff. The buff's down here. It lasts, I want to say, about 2 minutes, and you can do full damage to the boss as long as you have this buff. So periodically throughout the fight, you can look on your mini map, and you can see these little lanterns. You can see right now the difference between a lantern that has not been activated versus one that has been activated. Mm-hmm. So as you're fighting, you're dodging stuff, just keep an eye out for these lanterns, and you can refresh your buff periodically. It's not really punishing in solo mode if you forget to get it or anything like that. So just keep the buff on you. You'll be able to do damage to the boss. All right, so we're probably going to go into the first mechanic that happens. This is at 140 bars. He'll do this, and this is a stagger check that the boss does, but you don't use your abilities. Instead, you're going to do a relay where you pass a laser between 3 adventurers and yourself. So you can see how he's shooting a laser out in 3 directions. He's going to spawn 3 adventurers to help you in solo mode. You'll see them in a second. Here they are. 1, 2, 3. And the way this mech works is if you stand in any of these lasers that he's shooting out, you will get this little bar underneath you that fills pretty quickly, a couple of seconds, and then you will shoot a laser, whichever direction you're facing. You want to pass the laser from person to person and then shoot it back at him to do the stagger check. When you're in solo mode, what you want to keep an eye out for is where your adventurers are. Every time I've done this in solo mode, I've done it, 2 or 3 times now, you are the final laser. So your job is to shoot the laser back at the boss. So I always look, you can see these guys aren't standing in the laser, so they're not the starting point. I see this guy, if you can see in the top right of the screen here, he's standing in a laser path. It's spawning him in there. So he's number 1 for us. He's going to shoot the laser to this guy down here. He's going to shoot the laser to this guy over here. And then this guy's going to shoot the laser up to the north side of the map. So you don't want to be next to any of these guys, because when they stand in the laser beam and that little meter fills up and then they shoot a laser, they create a big circle around them. You cannot be in that circle or you get rooted, you can't move, you fail the mech. These big black circles do the same thing, so stay away from them. You'll watch right now. I run away. This guy's going to get it. See that little bar filling up? Laser shoots here. Laser shoots over here. That guy shoots the laser up here, and you'll see this circle on him. There it is. So this little lightning field. So I have to walk inside this smaller pink laser that he created and aim it back at him. What I suggest is I run close, like right before the laser, then I auto attack. I put my cursor where the boss is and auto attack in that direction. That way I'm aimed right at him, and most auto attacks move you forward slightly. So you'll see I walk up, and then when I get close, I'll auto just so I can aim my direction, and you can see this little bar filling up underneath my feet, and then the laser shoots right back at the boss. Stagger bar goes away. Congrats, you did the mech. The next mechanic is at 100 bars. And in solo mode, you'll see it works kind of the same, and he spawns all the orbs, which is nice. You'll go to the middle, big red AoE, and you'll wait. So that's one flash, and then you'll wait for another flash. That's one, there's two, and as soon as you can see these colors, the orbs are black and white, you're allowed to leave the middle and go pick up orbs. Your goal is to pick up 5 white orbs. That's all you're doing here. There's so many because in group content, 4 people, all of you have to get 5 white orbs. So it looks like there's an abundance here, but when you're doing this in group content, it's really not. Also, I'll show you in a second. See how when I pick up a white orb, this little sonar shoots out of me? That helps you identify what color the orbs are. Because you saw when the mech started, you can initially see if it's white or black. Excuse me. But that fades and they all look like this. So you can't tell what it is. If you pick up a white orb, that sonar, you can use that to your advantage to find more white orbs. You can see these are all black. This is a white orb here. And when you pick up your last orb, you get this shield around you and you're protected. He's going to summon 2 shadows, and it's going to be bottom left and bottom right. And all you have to do is go walk and stand in the shadow so you're protected. Later on, he does this same shadow mech, but he also is in the middle with a giant mirror, and he's trying to pull you out of the shadow. That's when you have to get good with that whole space bar with the purple text. But you have plenty of time to run to the shadow without knowing where it is during this mech. But I can show you guys the way I know where they're going to be is, remember at the start of the mech when you're in the middle here, you're going to see these little white discs. So boom, that's telling you where the first shadow is going to be, like we just saw. And then you'll see over here, the second one's going to show up. There's the second white shadow. That's how you know where both of those shadowy areas are going to be. So we go back one more time. This is the first shadow. Just stand in there. You're safe. You don't have to pick up any more orbs once you got your 5. Run to the other side where the shadow's going to be. If you ever aren't sure, just stand in the middle. If you're in the middle, you can run to any shadow in time. So don't worry about it. One more time here. Shadow spawns. Just stand in there and you're good. That's the mech. So there's only one more major mechanic now. It happens at 60 bars. And you'll see he teleports to the middle. Then he kind of transports you to a different dimension. And all you're doing is a stagger check on one of these statues. You'll see he summons 3 statues. There's one here at 3 o'clock, one at 6, one at 9. And you can notice 2 of them are just copies of the boss, L'Oreal here. They look just like him, except this pink statue thing on him. But one of them, you'll notice, has these like runic symbols. That's the one you need to go stagger. And they're doing this because they're trying to teach you what to look out for when you move to group content. We don't need to worry about that right now. But just look for the statue that has these runic symbols on him. And then you'll go over, wait for the stagger bar to show up, and then you just stagger real quick. You're done. So all the major mechanics are done. But in my opinion, this is where the fight really gets difficult. Because from now on, he periodically is going to do this little, see this little white disc up here? So he's going to summon the shadow, the safe zone that comes across the map, and you have to run in it. But he's also trying to pull you out of it with a mirror. So you'll see what this looks like. So I saw the white disc, I ran up there. And you're going to see he's in the middle now, pulls a mirror, he's trying to pull me in. You see that intense gaze that just disappeared off my character? That's what I'm waiting for, that intense gaze, because I'm running right now away from him. And as soon as this disappears, I'm going to spacebar this way. You always want to be moving against the wind. So you're like clicking up here, constantly holding your movement skill. And then you're just waiting to dash when this purple text goes away. So purple text disappears, I just spacebarred right there. Now he just keep running sideways because he's going to try and shoot you with the laser. It's a lot. And it's good in solo mode for you to practice. I think we did 3. I just skipped the normal attack patterns and just clipped right to the shadows here so you could see. This time, if you don't want to do the spacebar or ability dash and you want to just time stop it because you're having a lot of trouble and you just want to clear, I showed you how to do this too. The time stop's a little wonky in my opinion because he still pulls you in, and sometimes the mirror will register and hit you and you can get killed by the laser, but we'll see how this goes. So I run to the shadow, I wait for that purple text, and then I just time stop. He'll pull you in, you're invincible, invincible, invincible. You can see I walk out. I walk through the mirror. Sometimes it'll hit you, sometimes it doesn't. That's your option. And then one more time, I'll show you the space bar again. So I'm running against the wind here, space bar. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Don't leave early, like stay in the shadow until it completely goes away. Don't be like, okay, I'm good, and run out a second early. That intense sunlight outside of the shadow will melt your character's HP very fast. So that's how you do it. That's the raid. These are Abyss dungeons like the one I did previously, Voldis and Kayangel. They don't have any sidereal skills because they're called Abyss dungeons. They're a little shorter, sometimes a little easier than the actual raids, but I hope this was helpful for you guys. These are the top like 3 solo raids you have to do. If anybody wants a solo guide on previous raids, you guys let me know. I'll be happy to make it. Otherwise, I might start a series on showing the differences between solo raids and group content. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions at all, you can let me know in the comments, or you can just swing by Twitch when I'm streaming and holler at me there. That's the easiest way to do it. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.